many streets in Paris have seen their traditional food businesses swallowed up by clothing chains and shoe shops in recent years. Yet today, Rue Oberkampf is seeing the number of gastronomic addresses just growing. Take take the butcher shop La Futée, which was created in 2021 at 59 Rue Oberkampf. They call themselves a boucherie de quartier, a neighborhood butcher. But it's a neighborhood butcher that has evolved to meet the needs of their modern clientele, one that has embraced a philosophy of eating less meat, but better meat. So they offer dry aged steaks of the highest quality from free range cattle, whether it's French Charolais or Danish cod. They also offer heritage breed poultry and pork and wonderful charcuterie from France and Italy, like these little balls in the foreground of dried sausage, which are flavored with truffles and rolled in Parmesan cheese. Are amazing. I spoke with the manager of their neighbor, the L'Arbre à Café, which is an importer of fair trade biodynamically farmed coffees, which opened up in 2019 here at 61 Rue Oberkampf. And she told me that all these new shops have a very clear understanding about the local residents and what they want. These are people who are happy to do shopping in their street rather than in a supermarket, but they want to support shops that stand for quality and values like eco-responsibility and supporting small-scale artisan producers. L'Arbre Cafe, I should say, was the company that really introduced the idea of Grand Cru coffee to French gastronomy. And their espresso is like nothing you'll find in the corner brasserie. You can, if you want, you can get a cup of their coffee at just next door at this neo bakery called French Bastards. The three founders of French Bastards shared a conviction that the neighborhood bakery in Paris had fallen behind the times. Too many prefabricated industrial croissants and desserts, too little concern for the quality and provenance of their flour and other ingredients. So with organic flour from local farms and breads and pastries with really eye-popping, Instagrammable shapes and colors, they founded their first bakery in 2019 at 61 Rue Oberkampf. And today they have 6 of these bakeries scattered across the city. As Rue Oberkampf's reputation has grown, so has the number of foodie addresses. You'll find the most famous name in Parisian burgers at 66 Rue Oberkampf, Le Camion qui fume, or the truck that smokes. That was the name of Paris's first ever food truck, the one created in 2011 by the Californian chef Kristen Frederick. It was Kristen who helped ignite the Parisian love affair with the cheeseburger and other American dishes like barbecue wings and pulled pork sandwiches. A few years back, the late chef Anthony Bourdain tasted Frederick's cheeseburger on a visit to Paris, and he gave her the ultimate Bourdain compliment. He said, that is a good effing burger. Nowadays, Le Camion qui fume isn't the only place you can get a great burger on Rue Oberkampf. There's Le Camion qui fume is here. The Bécotte smash burgers just across from Chambelong bakery. And then up towards Café Charbon, there's also an outlet of Spain's famous gourmet burger chain Goico. But there's much more to discover than just burgers on the street. At 101 Rue Oberkampf, you'll find Will's Deli, which today is trying to become for Paris what Katz's Deli is for New York. But instead of being founded by Eastern European Jews immigrated to America, Will's Deli was created by Sephardic Jews emigrated from North Africa to France. There's a whole family story tied up in this restaurant, which I find really rather touching. And more importantly, their pastrami sandwiches are truly delicious with unique flavors that remind us that Sephardic Jews have their own cuisine and with spices generally not used by European Jews. Come and try a pastrami sandwich or some potato latkes. For dessert, you can even have one of their chocolate babkas. Or you could head a few doors down to Le Maître d'Atier, which is perhaps the first brand to really try to remind the world that what a gift from heaven the date is. It was created by a Frenchman of North African descent who had the idea of dipping and filling Algerian deglénour dates in chocolate and filling them with fruit or praline. And he also invented all these wonderful syrups and toppings, caramel toppings made from dates. And along the way, he's collaborated with brands like Gucci and Dior. It's definitely a modern take on one of humanity's most ancient delicacies. And suffice to say, Oberkampf is a neighborhood where the businesses are trying to live with the times. And at least for now, that does not mean excluding traditional neighborhood food shops and selling out to make way for banks and real estate offices and big perfume and clothing shops, like we've seen in other gentrifying parts of Paris. Really, Rue Oberkampf in a nutshell is a place like Chez l'Auvergnat, a cheese shop and delicatessen founded more than half a century ago at 60 Rue Oberkampf. In 2019, the owner, François Huet, passed the torch to his son, Alexandre. And Alexandre decided to gut the place. And then he made a truly contemporary cheese shop with a sliding glass door and a chic wood interior and modern lighting. The older clientele was initially worried, if not horrified, but in reality, this new place was actually about allowing Alexandre to be closer to his clientele and to allow them to better appreciate his products. And his products turn out to be the same perfectly ripened raw milk, artisan cheeses from small farms across France. And they're still served with the same precision and passion that his dad was known for. In his words, he said, "When I took over, this shop's decor hadn't changed for decades, and I felt it needed to be modernized. In the end, I only wanted to preserve what was most important, the traditions that my father had valued, and that same closeness with my clientele that he had with his." Now, you might be surprised to hear sentiments like that in a neighborhood that is used as a case study by academics for gentrification. Yet you stroll down Rue Oberkampf today, and you'll see these are the values being taken to heart in both new shops and old. It's a street with a plethora of addresses full of divine things to taste and delicious stories to hear. And in a city that's always changing and not always for the better, it's a street that gives you hope for the future of Paris.